So, this is completely different from us. We're doing a Leicester City 2019-2020 season review today. We've got myself, Kerry.
Johnny, hello.
And Sam, back again.
Yeah,
as
it's
always.
this lot. We're just going to do a complete rundown of how the season went, transfers, where we can improve, everything you want in this we can go with. We've even got a little quiz, so Leicester fans, I hope you enjoy. You've got 3 fans here, you're going to see an honest perspective.
Yeah.
Definitely
no bias towards
I mean, the shirts give it away, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But anyway, first and foremost, we finished 5th. We got 62 points, 18 wins, 8 draws, 12 losses and a goal difference of 26. What do we reckon?
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, go for it.
I think at the start of the season, before any games are played, before a ball is kicked, you say, we're going to finish 5th, just miss out on the Champions League by, was it a point in the end, or 2 points? I can't remember, by a point or 2 points. You're going to finish with the top scorer in the league. What else? I've lost my train of thought. The goal difference is pretty good.
We got to a cup semi-final.
That was it. We got to a semi-final.
We got to the FA Cup quarter-final. So yeah, you would take that at the start, but you look at it in January.
Yeah.
And you kind of reassess and you go, actually, hold on, we're 3rd, we're 15 points clear of 4th, of 5th, and you look at it in a different light.
Yeah.
Because that's the exact thing I've got down. But exactly, of course, at the start of the season, 5th place, you're not going to take it. It's better than 9th like it has been for the last, what seems like eternity. But on New Year's Day, we were sitting 14 points clear of 5th place, and that says everything you need to know. It's a season of 2 halves. We went on an incredible run where we could have said we were up there challenging Liverpool. It was never really a challenge.
I've got that.
It?
No.
We're looking like the only team that could finish above Liverpool at a point before Christmas.
And then we went on to lose to, what was it, City and Liverpool nearly back to back at Christmas.
Pretty much, yeah.
And then again, we're not expected to win them. We beat Villa 4-1, went and drew 1-1 with Norwich at home, and it all went plummeting downhill. Which again, start of the season, European football, big thumbs up, yeah, we'll take it. But from where we were to where we finished, is it really good enough?
No. But you have to look at the injuries that we had.
Exactly.
We finished the season with like 3 of our back 4 out. Ricardo Pereira was obviously a massive loss.
You don't realise how much he brings to the team until you take it out, Ricky P. Either.
You just have to look at his stats.
It's like
incredible.
when you compare him to previous right backs that we've had, Danny Simpson over the years, like you just can't compare
different
them.
class of player.
Yeah, I mean
Simpson's a bit more defensive, but I think Ricky P's defensive stats are still pretty good, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because I've got down here when we beat Southampton 9-0 away. Was that October?
It was.
Yeah, it was.
When it was in October, we went on to take 26 points for the next 11 games, only losing to Liverpool and City. But then, just before this whole COVID break, we beat Villa. We beat Villa 4-0, and we'd taken just 12 points from 12 games before that, losing to Burnley, Southampton and Norwich in that run. So,
yeah,
it is just a season of 2 halves. Again, at the start of the season, you definitely take 5th, but from where we were to where we finished, we should have been top 4.
I think teams sussed us out a bit as well. They just knew to play sort of a low line, like a quite deep line, stop the ball through to Vardy. I know we've sort of moved past that a bit now, but it's still quite a key area to our game. And the dip in form sort of coincided with Vardy not scoring goals. I don't know whether you've got a stat for that, but a lot of Vardy's 23 scored in the
23,
end?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
23 scored in the end. A lot of them were in the first half of the season.
Yeah, because he went on a massive non-scoring run.
Yeah, which coincided with us.
Just after we came back from COVID, and then just before.
Yeah.
I know he scored 2 against Villa before we went away, but before that, how many games was it about?
I think he was injured as well at one point.
Yeah.
Because he just came back, I think, off the bench for that Villa game.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
I think he came off the bench and scored a penalty with more or less his first touch and then scored a second. Anyway, the other big talking point about this season is VAR. And Leicester fans, I'm sure you understand how blooming frustrating it is, because the things that that haven't checked are the ones that aren't recorded. So according to ESPN, they state that we got +1 decisions, but it really don't feel that way. And I've got down a list of all the incidents we've had, and yeah, at the start of the season we were getting lucky with it, but this doesn't count for those VAR decisions that never got checked. So you're looking at the Carabao Cup semis, that handball against Villa. There's big matches, handball against Chelsea when Rudiger, that was what, 93rd, 94th minute, goes to flick it across the box and it hits the back of his hand. Nothing. And then
if that's given, might have been another win.
Man City at home, De Bruyne in the free kick lifts his arm during the wall. We've had them given against us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think there was one against Norwich as well that never got checked. Iheanacho scored. He chests it down and goes on a run. It was
the double handball, wasn't it? It hit the Norwich hand first and then hit Iheanacho's, but it was given against Iheanacho.
Yeah, but that never even got looked at. That just got disallowed there and then, which again, it was never really. It's one of those that should have been checked.
No, just shows how inconsistent they were throughout.
Well, they
the
just
whole
pick and
season.
choose which ones they want to look at. Like, if it's a Man United penalty, they'll look at it.
Yeah, so obviously there is a big team bias in it. We're just going to say that now.
Oh, there is.
But
I think it's
what do you guys make
unconscious
of how
bias. It's unconscious bias, isn't it?
Mm. I think it's. They're still going through teething issues.
Oh yeah.
They're going to.
With the handball law, they've not decided what's a handball, what's not, but they haven't been consistent, and they can't get the same ref on every game, and he won't make the same decisions twice.
Yeah.
He'll make a decision one week and go, actually, that wasn't a handball, I won't give that again. Or he'll make a wrong decision one week and go, actually, that was a handball, I'm going to give it next time. And I think that's where we've been undone, is like a couple of decisions. Well, like the Rudiger one and the De Bruyne one, we got given one against Ndidi against Everton later on in the last few games of the season, which is the exact same thing. Yeah,
I think the argument as well is, given that when VAR was introduced at the World Cup, I don't know about you guys, but I really liked it because the ref would go check the screen and it works because the referee had the final say. You just got told you should probably check that in his ear, and he did.
Yeah.
Now it doesn't seem that way.
They only do it for red cards, which was the only thing that they seem to get right, because a red card's a red card.
Yeah. I think that was the only time we saw it this season, was the Maitland-Niles challenge against Arsenal, where he actually went over, had a look at it, went, yeah, that's a red, I'm going to give it.
Yeah, I think as well, Bertrand right toward when we won 9-0, because I remember the goal got given, then VAR looked at the decision. I think they played it on the big screen rather than he go checks the box. But that was the first and only time I remember that happening.
They shouldn't have done that, really. I can't remember seeing it on the big screen, to be honest. I was a bit drunk.
Then you look at some of these. We did get lucky with it at the start. So first game of the season against Wolves, they had a goal disallowed for handball, and it was a soft handball.
I think even the verse fixture against Wolves, they had another one disallowed.
Exactly.
Was that another handball, or it was for some reason? It might have been offside.
Yeah, I've got the home game against Burnley. I remember this. Johnny Evans just fell over on his way back to goal. Chris Wood tapped him, but then they gave a foul against Chris Wood, which really wasn't a foul.
No, it was just because Johnny Evans cut across him and basically played the foul, which is what
to be fair to Johnny Evans, it's clever.
Yeah,
he's been really clever. There was the Tottenham Hotspur one as well. I think that would have put them, was it 2-1 up or 2-0 up or something?
I think 2-0.
It would have put them 2-0 up.
It was in line.
It was really, really marginal offside, and then pretty much from that we went up the other end and scored. I think Ricky P scored, didn't
he? Yeah, we had Everton that game where VAR did us really nicely, but there was a penalty for a foul on Chilwell by Holgate that got overturned. But then Iheanacho's goal, where he was adamant it was onside, and it was proven that by VAR when he scored that 93rd, 94th minute.
I think it was like 96 in the end.
It was
when they
gave
it.
Yeah.
I mean, that was incredible for celebration.
Yeah,
then,
it was.
Again, the other one, penalty awarded to Man City against Dennis Pratt. De Bruyne earlier in that game, free kick goes in, hands raised like that, hits him. Pratt does exactly the same, they give it. Yeah. What's the difference?
Mane winning a penalty against Liverpool, which would have...
Oh yeah, the Albrighton one.
Yeah, when he... It's if he gives it, he's got to give it, but... Because there is the smallest bit of contact. But if Vardy was to do that, he'd get booked for diving. Yeah. And then VAR would not overturn that. Yeah. So it's...
I think it's
one tricky.
Where strikers are getting really clever, and they've obviously, I don't know, you don't practice it, do you? But
practice.
You
VAR.
feel a slight bit of contact.
you know how to go down and make it look like you've been touched more than you have, and that all Brighton one. Yeah, I think he gave him the easy decision.
Well, yeah,
to
he
make.
gave the referee a decision to make, which you can't do.
Yeah, that would have been a shame because that would have been a point away at Anfield against Liverpool.
I think that would have been the first time they dropped points at Anfield for
Mhm.
probably about a year. I think it would have been at that
Yeah.
time. But
Anyway, after VAR, what we got? We've got a little quiz on our season review just to get you thinking
Okay.
about the players. So there's
Okay.
only 5 questions, all Leicester based. First of all, probably easy. Who got the most assists in the squad last season?
Barnes, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Harvey
was gonna
Barnes
say
did. He
Barnes.
got 8 altogether. I think it was Barnes. Can't
Maddison?
remember. I think it might even be Vardy, then Maddison. Maddison comes about
how many
third.
did Tillemans get? I think Tillemans got 6, did he?
I think
Yeah,
it
Tillemans
might
might
go
be up
like
there
that.
as well.
Good. Next one. After Vardy, who scored the most goals?
Perez?
Yeah, Perez on 8. Which it kind of shows how
Yeah,
lacking
you
we
need-
are in
Yeah,
finishes up
he
front.
scored 3 of them against
then-
Southampton.
And then did he score 2 against someone else as
Was it
well?
West Ham?
Can't remember. I can't remember. But
Who,
yeah, 3 in the same game. 5 in 37.
Scored a tap in against Brighton as well,
Yeah.
didn't
who made the most appearances this season? So there's 2 of them.
he? Schmeichel.
He's one.
Tillemans?
No.
Is it Wilfred?
No, Evans.
Evans.
Yeah.
Schmeichel and Evans mainstays at the back, which we did have a decent defensive record, so that's always good to know.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's true.
Who was the most used sub? Coming off the bench.
Coming
that
off
is.
the bench. Say Gray.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gray 18
Gray or
times,
Pratt.
and then Pratt 15 times.
Yeah.
But the argument with them is how many times was it successful? Gray's been proven, I've seen the stats on Sky Sports saying that when he comes off the bench he's good, but he's very hit or miss.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
he has been
Leicester
since he
fans
joined.
can agree. He either hits it or he's...
Yeah, he's either really good or rubbish. Like I think West Ham was one of his good games, but he still did he miss a penalty that game as well?
Yeah,
West Ham away.
I think towards the end of the season he was really coming into his own though. You look at the Arsenal
was getting
game when he
better,
came
yeah.
on, he completely
Yeah.
changed the game, got the assist.
Yeah.
I think he's
Yeah.
kind of realising that. Well, after he was given captain for the England under 21s, that was kind of when his form dropped because he was like, "Oh, I'm big, I am. I'm going to walk into the team." But I think now he kind of realises that he needs to work his way back into the team, and if he wants to continue playing at this level, he needs to kind of just step up.
Yeah.
Well, a bit like Barnes has done.
Yeah. I'd say this is the benefit of European football next season. There's going to be plenty of minutes for Gray to get starts and work
Yeah.
his way back into that
Absolutely,
first
yeah.
team.
Mm-hmm.
Final question, Johnny, you should know this one. Who was subbed off the most?
Was it Tielemans?
Perez
It
gets
was
subbed
Perez.
off
Yeah.
a lot of the time. It became a running joke, I think, in the
I
end.
think it was our call season
Substitutions,
60th minute.
Perez off, Barnes off.
Well, that's just to get you guys thinking about players having a bit more impact than we probably realise. So Perez in particular, his stats never look good on him, but he's been playing out of position all year.
Yeah,
And he's, I think personally,
he'd be
he's
good
done
in the
quite well
Okazaki role.
considering.
Mm.
But anyway, we'll go on to games.
Yeah. All
So first and foremost, what was your best game this
I think-
season?
I think the best game's got to be the 9-0, hasn't
gotta
it?
be.
It's ridiculous. You look at half time and you're like, I don't know how many we're going to score here, but it's going to be a lot.
I remember texting my mum at half time and it was like, it's not 5-0, is it? Yeah, it's 5-0.
I was at that game actually.
Yeah.
Definitely the best away game I've ever been to. It was just absolutely mad. It just everything seemed to go right. Like Chilwell scored the first goal and they got a red card, and then they decided to take Danny Ings off.
Yeah.
So they had absolutely nothing going forward.
No.
It-
Who goes
yeah,
damage
and it just-
limitation in the first 10 minutes? Like,
Yeah.
But then,
And
to
I
be
think-
fair to them, they've done really well since.
Since
And
then,
good, on,
yeah.
good on Southampton for sticking with
Yeah.
the manager and showing
yeah.
faith.
Mm,
Because they beat us at our place again, didn't they?
yeah.
That's
Just
typical
shows how
Leicester
up
thing.
and down our season was.
Yeah.
We beat someone 9-0 and then lose 2-1 at home.
Yeah.
Like, it's-
Two sides of a completely different season.
Yeah.
But then, with best games, there's others to consider. Like obviously, the Southampton game was the best game.
Yeah.
Called the best record in the Premier League
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
a win. Best away win, so that's
Yeah.
up I've got written down 5-0 versus Newcastle towards the start of the season.
Yeah.
I know they had a man sent off that really helped us, but I remember Ricky P scoring a really good
Yeah, that was a good goal.
goal.
Indeed, he scored a decent turn shot, didn't he?
Both games against Villa, so 4-1 at their place, 4-0 at our place. And then that 2-0 Remembrance Day game against Arsenal.
Yeah.
I remember because that
We played
really
them off the
stands
park.
out. And I was speaking to my granddad
Played them off the
earlier,
park,
and
didn't
it's
we?
just... Although they had a chance, I think Lacazette early on, where he should have scored, but he missed it. We looked so good, and that was during our proper purple patch of the season.
Yeah.
But then from the best, we get the worst, and we get the second half of the season. What would you guys... I think there's another obvious game. Worst game of the season.
I think the 3-0 versus Tottenham.
Yeah.
I turned it off at half time. I
they were
couldn't
just
bear to
rubbish.
watch us play anymore.
I wasn't very well, actually, and I still turned the game... Well, I fell asleep during it, but I remember going 3-0 down, and it was just... We didn't look like we were ever going to score.
No.
Going forward, we were rubbish, and then we were just getting done on the counter-attack, which we'd not been doing for the first half of the season.
But then does that play into what could be spoilers, our worst player of the season?
Possibly.
Yeah.
It might fall into that
You
category.
will find out.
So,
I also think Bournemouth away was absolutely shocking.
I thought Bournemouth away was
Yeah.
going to be that game.
It has
the
to be.
decision
Well,
to take Ian
worst
Acho off.
45 minutes we've ever seen. But
Yeah.
the reason for taking Ian Acho off was flawed as well, because he said we were getting done at the wing, and then he puts on a centre mid.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
we
what
got
was
done on the wing. I mean, Schmeichel made a mistake, and then from that, everyone's head dropped.
Soyuncu made the biggest mistake in that
Yeah.
game. He completely
lost his head,
killed
didn't
us.
he?
Yeah.
I will
That game
say
turned
now
around
as
in
well,
2 minutes.
I messaged you before the game saying, Dominic Solanke is going to score today and we're going to lose. And what a surprise, a striker who hasn't scored in about 8 years finally scores his goal against us.
Yeah.
Which is,
Always
He got
happens
2,
against
didn't he?
us.
His second
Yeah.
was really well taken.
yeah, it's fucking annoying.
Yeah.
Didn't Junior Stanislas score that game
Yeah.
as well?
Oh,
he hadn't
God.
scored for a long time.
It was just awful.
Yes,
Second half was just terrible.
I think other worst games, I've got like 1-0 against Norwich when they were in absolute dire form. They'd had about 6 draws and losses, and then another 6 draws and losses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was just a load of rubbish.
Yeah, Timu Pukki scored, didn't he?
2-0 against Man U.
And then Jamal Lewis scored.
Yeah, 2-0 against Man U last day of the season. That was just disappointing because we played really well.
It
and then
was,
at the
yeah.
end, it was 2 mistakes again.
It just showed like towards the end of the season we just didn't have that cutting edge going forward.
And then this one's probably a bit harsh. At 4-0 against Liverpool on Boxing Day, but Liverpool were incredible.
Liverpool,
So
they
as difficult as it is, they were in their flying form, and we were, I think, stumbling around that point.
they took literally every chance they could have.
They
They
had.
had, and they played us off the park. But Liverpool were in such good form, then you can't really put that down as a worst performance for Leicester. They were playing everyone off the park at that point.
Yeah, they were.
Exactly. So are we agreeing 9-0 is the best game, and that 4-1 versus Bournemouth?
Yeah,
It was
worst,
shocking, but yeah.
close second with the
definitely.
Tottenham game.
I think from games on to players, and we'll go on to best player first. We'll be positive.
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay.
So I've got down 3. I'm guessing there's 3 standing out candidates. So I'll let one of you guys.
Do you want to go
off.
first, Sam?
Yeah, I mean, your obvious is Jamie Vardy. He's had the best scoring season he's had in the Prem. Although he went well, it just shows how good he was at certain points of the season where he's probably gone about 8 games without scoring in a row and still managed to come out with a golden boot. Who else have you got?
I've got Ricky P down as my player of the season.
Yeah. Although he was out for like half of it.
Yeah. Well, it just showed how much we missed him because Justin's good. Justin will be very good in the future.
Credit on James Justin, to be fair.
To be fair, he was probably one of the few players that actually played well after lockdown. Tielemans, you could argue, had to step up, and he did a bit, but not as much as we all hoped he would.
Yeah.
No, especially with Tielemans after we signed him, had such high hopes for
Yeah,
him.
well, he had such a good. I think that's another stat, isn't he? I think he scored the same amount in the whole season as he did in the 6 months or however it was.
Yeah.
And I think he got about 2 more assists this season than he did from the point we signed him on loan from Monaco. I think even with Ricky P being out since Corona, he must be about 4th or 5th on the most tackles won.
I think he was. Where is he? 3rd for tackles in the league.
3rd for tackles in the league.
119, only behind Ndidi, and I think it was Wan-Bissaka.
So shows how much he wins the ball back. And I don't think it's just in defensive areas either. I think it can be quite high up the pitch.
Really good at pressing.
Do you have how many assists he got down?
I've got down. To be fair, with Ricky P, bear in mind he went out at the start of April, wasn't it, or March?
It was
game.
Villa.
He made Who Scores European team of the season with an
Yeah.
average rating of 7.5. 28 Prem games, 3 goals, 2 assists. So not massive numbers, but it's his 4.3 tackles, 1.8 interceptions, 2.1 dribbles for a right back.
Did it say how many chances he created as well?
I've got 1 key pass per game, so you're looking at
it's
a lot
27
of
key
chances.
passes.
He's a right back, not a cam, and he's producing those stats.
And I know it's biased to say, but he's definitely up there for being best right back in the league.
Well, he's best right back in
100%.
Europe, hasn't he? Because Who Scored said.
I mean,
I know it's controversial with Liverpool fans that love Trent, but Trent,
I think
he's a very good player, Trent, but
he's like the combination
Of
Liverpool
Trent
and Man
Van
U fans want of the defensive output and the attacking output.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's only got 3 goals, 2 assists, but without him, you've seen how much we struggled this end. The only other player I've got written down is Ndidi. And when he went off injured, that coincided with that big drop off in form as well.
That's true, yeah.
Because he's up there, only 1 tackle behind Wan-Bissaka for the whole season. So that final game really was like a game of stats for those two in particular.
Yeah.
Just incredible. Just an incredible player.
And Didi has definitely filled the shoes of Kante and probably a bit more.
100%. Yeah.
He's just
Just needs to work on his passing a bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the same with Kante when he played for us there. That was the one thing that we said wasn't there, was his passing. And then ever since he's gone to Chelsea, he's been really good. So I think it will come with Ndidi. He's still young.
Isn't he?
Yeah.
It'll come
He's still got lots to do.
It's just whether we can keep hold of him.
Anyway, on to worst player then. We're all unanimous. There's only one worst player here. We're not going to consider anyone else. It's Ryan Bennett.
Yeah.
Ryan Bennett,
Yeah,
it's got to be Ryan Bennett.
Honestly, why? What's the point? I'm so glad we didn't have to sign him.
Yeah, me too.
Because
Well, I thought his debut looked okay. Was it Crystal Palace as a half-time sub he came on?
It
Someone
was,
got
but
injured.
it was 45 minutes against Palace, who were doing naff all.
But all he had to do in that game was just head the ball away.
Yeah,
And that's what he did. And he's he's a typical Sunday league defender. He's like, get the ball, boot it up the pitch,
Boots it up, yeah.
make silly challenges. He's lazy. He misses I've got so many bad things to say about
I've
Ryan
got no
Bennett.
stats for him because I didn't need any stats.
No.
If you watched him play, you know how crap he was.
2 of the 3 goals were Ryan Bennett's fault against Tottenham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's Harry Kane cut on the inside, and was it Son cut on the inside as well?
Yeah. They all came from that side. And he just... You don't even have to be a good winger to get past him. You've literally just got to go one way and then cut the other, and he falls over.
Yeah.
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 It's probably down to the fact that he tucks his shirt in.
Then he was on against Bournemouth as well. Didn't he was he subbed off at one point during that game, or was he just the one defender left out at one point? Because I know he was absolutely shocking.
I
think he might have got taken off. Yeah, he definitely got taken off against Spurs at half time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just when you play him, like, he needs... If he played alongside Sionchu, I think it'd be a different story. But it's when you've got 2 slow old defenders, you can't play them next to each other. Like, we were playing, what was it, Morgan, Bennett and Evans against Tottenham. Like, you're always going to get done. They've got Son and Kane going forward.
Lucas and
I think that was...
as well.
Yeah. I think we were silly to think we'd get anything from that game with that defence.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, that sums it up. Bennett, please don't come back to Leicester in any way, shape or form.
No, honestly, I don't think he'd look out of place in a Sunday League team. I don't know how he's got to that standard, to be honest.
Yeah. But then I've got from this, we've got our best players, we've got our worst player. Our signings last summer, because we're usually quite good with our business. But I want to know what you guys make of them. So, starting off Perez, because I've got down his stats are against him, but he always seems to make a decent impact. He's got a good first touch and he's quite intelligent.
I wouldn't
just
say
falls
his
over a lot.
first touch.
Yeah.
I'd say his first touch is what lets him down. Because
I think it's okay.
I don't know, because I feel like every time the ball comes to him, his first touch is 2 yards away from him, which means that he has to either reach for the ball or the defender's allowed to get so close to him that he can't do anything with it. If he gets that first touch in, then he's got 5 yards of space rather than 2. Yeah, I think that's what lets him down.
I think bearing in mind though, he has been playing out of position all season as well. He's not a right winger. I don't think he ever was. He was always like a second striker at Newcastle, and we didn't get his purple patch that comes between January and April each year.
No,
that's true.
but where do you play him? You can't play him behind the striker because Maddison plays there when he's fit.
What are you playing instead of Maddison?
You wouldn't play him instead of Maddison, though, would you?
You'd have him as a
Madison's
bench
not
option.
injured.
You'd hope for next season.
Yeah.
It's an expensive bench option, though, isn't it?
Then there's still like about the fee. Some people say 30 mil, some people say 16. There's never been that clarity about what the actual fee we paid was.
No, that's true.
You'd
You'd hope it's 16, but
Yeah.
I think it would be 30. Newcastle are no mugs.
No.
Yeah. But then again, when we signed him, he's not like he was setting the Premier like, or he was setting anything alike.
He was always known as Purple Patch Perez. He had one good spell each season.
Yeah. So it was a bit of a questionable signing for me.
Yeah, I think it was for me.
Go on, Dennis Pratt. What do you guys make of him?
I really like him.
He's a workhorse.
I really like him. He's a box-to-box midfielder. He gets into like positions where he can score. It's just tricky because are you going to play him ahead of Ndidi? No. Are you going to play him ahead of Yori?
Probably at some point.
If Yori's going through a bad patch,
if he doesn't lose some weight, because that's evident this year, is Yuri Tielemans is put on a little bit of pudding. He's not as quick as he was last year.
Bit harsh,
but it is. I feel like it's a fair reflection.
Because I think Pratt's good, but to be honest, I've not really seen him do enough to warrant it. You guys go to a lot more games than me, so
he's a workhorse. He's a very fit box-to-box midfielder.
Yeah,
he does get into the box, like on the edge of the box for crosses, and he's on the edge of the box getting the ball away from there. I think. Well, you saw how good his passing is from that whip out to Justin
Brentford
for the Brentford. Yeah,
but yeah, if he is gonna play like that though, I feel like he needs to be better in the final third because I think he panics when he's got 10 yards of space around him. He's fine. He can ping a pass 40 yards straight to feet, and he's decent in the defensive third.
I didn't get anything down on that.
He got 1 goal and 2 assists.
Yeah,
I mean, you could argue that the Newcastle
12 starts and 27 appearances.
You could argue that the Newcastle one, which went as an own goal. I suppose that's not his goal, is it?
No.
How many assists did you say?
He got 2 assists.
Yeah, so he needs to up that as well.
Yeah. But from the bench, he's coming on
the
the 60th minute, isn't he? He's not
got
any earlier than that.
he's not got a lot of time to impact.
So it's really
I quite like him.
Yeah.
And what do you have? You got what the fee was?
I didn't get a fee written down for him, but hopefully there's just more to come from him. Especially in Europa League next season, there'll be a lot. Like I said earlier, there's a lot of minutes going to go around the squad. Hopefully, enough to go. Moving on, James Justin. I really like him.
20 million was the fee for.
I don't think that's bad.
20 million euros, so about 16 million.
I don't think that's bad for Dennis.
Yeah. Anyway, James Justin. I really rate him as a youngster coming up from League One. I think he's done brilliant.
I think he's done really well.
Trying to step into Ricardo's shoes, no easy task, and he's done it fairly well.
Well, you're not going to step into Ricardo's shoes properly, but I think he's done a pretty good a job as he could do.
Well, I think it was a bit harsh on him because as soon as Ricardo got injured and he came in, that's all we compared him to. Because what we're used to. Whereas
if
you compare him to Simpson, you compare him to Simpson or Chilwell on the other side. I think he's done really well, and I think if we do not sign a left back next year, either him or Thomas can fit in.
Well, Justin can play
easily at left back.
Yeah,
because he's so quick.
I spoke to a Luton fan last summer, and he was their one player that said he could go far. He can play anywhere across the back, as proven. He can even play in centre midfield because he did that for Luton a few times.
He come in at right centre back again.
Yeah.
After the COVID break, it was one game he played right centre back and he did not look out of place.
No, he did a good job.
No,
I remember seeing that. Yeah, I think he's got a very bright future as well. He's very solid defensively. A few indecisive moments, but he's still a young kid, isn't he?
I remember having one against was it Brighton or Palace, one of the two teams, and he just smacks it from about 25 yards out against crossbar, inches away from being goal of the season. He's going to be a good player.
It won't surprise me if he does get an England call up at some point.
You'd hope so for him.
Because I think he is. He has that potential.
But then the right back slot at the minute.
Bartrand, Alexander-Arnold and Wan-Bissaka, your left back slots aren't great. You got
No.
Luke Shaw and Ben Chilwell, and I
Danny
think
Rose.
he's better than.
Maybe if he wants to be in the England squad, he goes for left rather than right.
Yeah,
Tell Rodgers I want to play left back.
he's got a better chance in the next 20 years.
But then the big signing last summer, Yuri Tillemans. Because I've got down, he's good, but he's nothing like the player we had on loan last season. But is that
No.
just because he's playing a complete different role?
Possibly. I think he had a bit more freedom when he first joined.
Yeah, he was
and he's
playing
been
more
told
attacking,
to,
wasn't
Yeah, and he's been told to sit back
Yeah.
a bit more because we've got. I think the formation he's playing is like a 4-1-4-1.
Yeah, I've got that down as he played pretty much like 90% of the season,
Yeah.
or the
So
renditions of it.
in that 4 in midfield, you're going to have one that's slightly more holding to support. I know we've got Ndidi there, who's like 2 players in one, but he can't do everything.
No.
Exactly.
And with Tillemans, as Sam mentioned before, he's not as fit as you'd hope.
No,
He's not going to get back forward
No.
like you want.
You kind of want Tielemans' ball work, but Dennis Pratt's work rate.
Yeah.
You kind of
Yeah.
want to just combine.
Oh yeah, on
two.
the ball, Tillemans is ridiculously good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think he just
Some of
needs
the
some
stuff he
confidence
does,
as
yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
He's confident.
he's a player that
looks
thrives on
shattered.
confidence.
yeah.
At some points this season, you could tell the fans were getting on his back, and
We're
We all
really
love
bad
Euro.
for that.
Yeah.
we're really
Too,
bad at getting
too
on
high
players' backs.
expectations now, I think, at the King Power.
Yeah. Well, Chilwell, I really like Chilwell, but some of the fans that get on his back if he has like one bad game is stupid.
Yeah,
He's a young kid, for God's sake.
yeah. He's done 9 good things for one bad thing, and everyone just points out the one bad thing that
Yeah.
he's done.
If it's Vardy that makes those mistakes, we're all mollycoddling him.
Well, Vardy did for the first 4 or 5 games back after
Yeah.
coronavirus break. He was shocking.
And we're
He couldn't
mollycoddling
hit,
him.
he couldn't hit a ball on target. Every control was awful. He couldn't pass, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was always he'll come good. Whereas
Chilwell
Chilwell,
is-
he's young.
Yeah, it's not he'll come good, it's we need to get rid of him fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if we can get 70 million for it,
Oh, yeah, you
which,
take it.
which we are,
Yeah,
you'll take
you
it.
take
You'll
it.
take it.
I
It's
mean-
the same as Maguire. Like
Yeah.
you never know. He might go to Chelsea and
Yeah.
not progress as much as he should.
This is the benefit of if it happens. It could well have happened by the time this goes live. It's going to be really good knowing that the business is done early and we can reinvest that money this window. Whereas
Yeah.
the Maguire deal was dragged out and dragged out and dragged out. Everyone knew it was going to happen, but then it left us in a really poor position after because
then
all the
you could
prices
argue-
hiked for
Yeah.
centre backs towards.
But
the
then you
end
could
of the
argue
window.
we'd already signed the 2 replacements for Maguire and Benkovic and Soyuncu.
Exactly.
So it's
What do you guys
maybe a
think?
long-term
What do you
plan.
guys think about Benkovic next year? Do you reckon he'll
I hope he plays.
not loan him out
I'll
again?
come on to that in a second.
Okay.
'Cause I've got another little game.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll run through the squad.
Yes.
I'll run through the
We've
squad.
got Leicester
And
City
basically,
against
would you keep him, would you loan him, or would you sell him?
Okay.
Okay.
So there's some obvious ones in there. There's some up for debate.
Mhm.
So start off keepers, Schmeichel.
Keep.
Yeah, no brainer. Danny Ward.
Keep.
Yeah, I'd keep him.
Yeah, again,
There's no point.
He's brilliant in the cups. Great
Yeah.
penalty keeper as well.
He's a really good backup keeper.
Yeah.
And then Jakupovic is our third choice.
Get rid.
You always need a third keeper, just in case.
Have a youngster.
But
We've got,
yeah.
I know we've sent Iverson out on loan already,
you still
he's
got-
showing such good potential. Even then, there's a few good youngsters
Yeah.
knocking
Mm.
about.
I think we're quite lucky.
I'd
We've got
rather
quite a
give the
decent
minutes.
couple.
I know with Danny Ward's behind him. You don't often get 2 keepers out at once. I've said that now. It's gonna
It does happen. Chelsea had
But-
that a few years ago.
What
didn't
would you guys think of? Because obviously Dean Henderson has gone back to Man U from Sheffield United,
they?
and has been told that he's going to be the number 2. So what would you think about bringing him in as the number 2 for this year and dropping Danny Ward down, having him for the European Cup competitions?
Would he join? Would he want to be a number 2? Having
Yeah,
been
but
a
if he's a
one
number
at
2
Premier
at
League
Man
club?
U, why would he want to be number 2? If you don't want to be number 2 at Man U,
I think they're on about loaning him out again because they've got Romero, haven't they?
But would they not get rid of Romero?
the big thing
We'll
was
have to
if
see.
they've got Chelsea are desperate for a keeper,
Yeah.
and they've always been sniffing around Henderson. If they
Yeah.
can do something with Kepa, if it's like a 2-year loan,
Mm.
then that's their player they'll go for.
Yeah.
I think he just wants first team football.
Yeah.
And
He's got to have it because he's looking like England's.
Best
Best
keeper,
keeper.
100%. Especially after Jordan Pickford's performance.
Nick Pope's
this
a pretty
season.
good keeper, to be fair, as well. Could he be number 1?
like if you're
I do like
Henderson,
Nick
I'd
Pope as
probably
well.
look at going out on loan, even if it's abroad somewhere for a year.
Yeah.
Make sure you're getting first team football. If De
You've got
Gea
to.
has another terrible season,
Yeah.
that's your spot next year.
Mm.
Yeah.
Although odds on Joe Hart being brought back in now, he's Tottenham's number 2.
Oh,
England's number 1 again.
God's sake, it won't happen.
Pass me the ball!
Anyway, defenders. James Justin.
Keep.
Yeah, keep,
He's
100%.
Chilwell.
I mean,
I'm not fussed either
in
way.
an ideal world, we'd keep him, but
Yeah.
he's going to go. So
I'm not fussed either way.
we need to
Again, by the time we're recording, he might have already gone. But
I'm not
I'd
fussed
sell.
either way.
I'd sell.
we need to start thinking that the grass is greener on the other side. We can probably sign someone for 30 mil that's going to be just as
The
good.
grass
if not
isn't
better.
always greener on the other side.
It might be.
No.
It's
If we're
not
getting
always.
70 mil for him, it's a no-brainer. We sell.
Yeah,
take the
you
money.
take
That's the trading ground paid off with Maguire and Chilwell last season.
Yeah, you
and
take
more.
it.
Absolutely.
You take it, but yeah. If I had the choice, well, it depends on the fee. doesn't
You'd
it?
want to keep everyone, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
Everyone's
wanna
got
Because
the
it's
right.
such a young squad.
He came up through our academy. Of course, we want to keep him. But if we're offering silly money like that, and it's more or less done by this point, you may as
Yeah.
well take it.
Yeah.
Cags.
Keep.
Keep.
Yeah,
I think-
keep.
Yeah, he had
Other
a
than
better
his-
first half.
yeah.
He needs to work on his temperament. It's a
Other than
shame
his
that he
silly
can lose his
mistake,
head, but
yeah.
he's still a quality player.
He needs to realise he's not that good on the ball as well. Like, there's a couple of occasions this season where he's tried too much, and you're like, please, just do not do that again. You're gonna get caught out.
Yeah, one day he'll get
Cruyff
caught out
turns,
by
yeah.
his turns.
Yeah,
Cags 10.
people expect it now as well. At the start of the
Yeah.
season, no one expected it, so he was getting away with it. But now he just kind of needs to.
Well, he's not done it
Turn
as
back a little
much
bit.
second half of the season, is it? But yeah.
Big Wes.
Well, I think
I'd retire him.
yeah.
You keep him around for the dressing room.
Dressing
the
room
cup
player,
game.
isn't
Yeah,
The
I
odd
think
cup game
I think
against
they'll
the
offer
League
him a
One side.
coaching position or something
Yeah.
like that.
I think they're
Yeah.
waiting for him to retire and then
Then offer him a
he's
coaching
one
position.
of our
Put his statue
coaches,
up, and
so-
there you go. See
There
you
you
in a
go.
bit.
Send him back to Forest.
No, Derby next.
Derby,
Maybe East
yeah.
Midlands tour.
Or we go Cardiff or something like that.
Johnny Evans.
Yeah,
Yeah, you keep him.
He's a
Keep.
Quality player.
I think you start.
Leader.
I think you need to start looking for a replacement for him.
But then I'll
'Cause you
come on
don't
to
know how many
next,
seasons.
Benkovic.
Yeah.
Because is he
Keep.
not going to be a ready-made replacement?
But
Yeah.
do you want someone with a bit of experience and leadership? Because Cags, good
That's
player, is he a
the other-
leader?
that's the other side of it. Because with Benkovic, I know people would say get him out on loan again. I'd keep him for Europe.
We need a big
Keep
squad this year.
Exactly.
You need 25 players fit at all times.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep him.
Next player we've got Daniel Amati, Leicester's forgotten man.
It's just been really unlucky with injuries, isn't
He
it?
has.
He was
a
looking
good
really
player.
good. He was looking really good.
Champions,
was.
that 2016-17 season, he was one of our best players.
It was the season where we just bought everyone to replace Kante. We bought like
Yeah.
5 CDMs and we were like, come on, please, one of you work.
One that we already had was probably the best player, Amati.
Yeah.
I really like him, but
I've
it's just
said
been
loan him
really,
out.
really unlucky.
Yeah.
Loan him out.
He
See
needs
if
a
he can get some
season.
fitness anywhere. I know Villa have always been sniffing around. If you can get him minutes and then get him back with us,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd love to have him back and playing again because he's just been unlucky with his injuries.
Mm.
maybe loan him out and see what happens.
I hope this is dead easy. Next Pereira,
Keep,
Yeah, keep.
Keep it
obviously.
all.
keep at
costs.
all costs. Yeah,
Yeah.
Fuchs.
keep for a year. He's good.
Keep.
for-
Yeah, it'll.
Yeah.
Depends. It depends who we bring in. If we bring in, like, if Chilwell does go,
Yeah.
or we keep hold of Chilwell, who do we bring in? Fuchs can sort of mentor,
I mean,
But
we
you've
all
got
know
that-
pass
Fuchs.
on his experience.
But you've got Thomas.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
pass on the
Who
experience
played
of Thomas.
really well. Yeah, you need that experience
Still
then in the
younger,
dressing
isn't he,
room.
Thomas?
I think Fuchs has got his foot in the door with quite a few businesses in Leicester, hasn't he?
And
So
New
he-
York. He's
and New
off to
York.
New York when he's done.
Yeah.
His family
family's
lives in
already
New
there.
York, I think, don't they?
Yeah.
But I'd keep him for a year, another
Yeah.
year, and just to give
Well, I think he is staying for a year.
the left
isn't he?
backs that experience, and then he can go on. Plus, I think he'd like to play in Europe for one more season, so
Yeah,
he'll play a
possibly
couple of
will.
games.
Yeah. And then finally, Luke Thomas.
Keep.
Yeah, keep.
I put keep potentially alone. But
Depends who we
it depends
bring
who
in.
you bring in.
Yeah.
Depends
So
who you bring in.
I'd rather keep him around for the time being.
Yeah,
On to midfielders then. Start with Damari Gray. 'Cause he's a real question mark
Keep.
player.
Tricky.
I
Maybe loan to a sort of lower tier or lower position Premier League club.
but I don't know. I think his attitude's changed.
Again, at the end of the season, yeah. But then I've got down sell for the right price. Because when
Yeah.
Bournemouth came in for about, 20, 30 mil at one
Mm.
point a few years
I
ago,
think it was 20, yeah.
and he, don't get me wrong, Gray's got all the potential and he can be a fantastic player. It's just hopefully we can see more of it.
Yeah.
Like for Europe, yeah, probably keep him, but if a right offer comes in, then...
But if we are playing with wingers, who do you replace that's just as cheap and is going to do a decent enough job.
Then that comes on to signings we'd potentially make. Because
Yeah.
there's a hell of a lot of good wingers out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there is. There is.
So next two will probably be easy. Tillemans and Maddison.
Yeah,
keep both.
Keep both, yeah.
Madison's just signed new contracts, hasn't he? So that's good news.
Has he actually signed it?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Excellent stuff.
Good.
Mark Albrighton. I know you don't like him, Sam. I don't know why.
You
I like
keep
him.
You keep
Yeah.
him.
I like him.
He's a
You
good.
keep him.
He's a good squad player this year, but I feel like if we want to progress, he needs to be a
Gotta
squad
get-
player.
Yeah, you got to
Yeah.
get some.
We need to buy better wingers.
Albrighton's a good player.
Albrighton
He
would be
can whip
amazing
in a very good ball.
if we had a
But-
Jura and Slimani still.
Yeah.
Or Steve Hours, like
Steve
anyone,
Hours.
anyone like that.
But then you could look
Albrighton's
at signs
amazing.
like you could look at like rumours as well.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that at another point.
Yeah,
Hamza Chowdhury.
Keep, I think, for this season.
yeah.
If we weren't in Europe, I'd say loan.
We're going to
Yeah.
need reinforcements.
Yeah.
I
keep him.
think all the help.
If we weren't in Europe, I'd say loan. But
yeah, he needs
keep.
he needs a lot of game time, and he needs to learn his trade because he
Yeah.
doesn't. Yeah, I don't think he knows where he wants to play.
No, I mean he's 22, 23 now. He's
Yeah,
coming
he's
into an age
22.
where he wants to be starting,
Yeah.
and he needs his position.
Mm.
Don't get me wrong, he's a fantastic backup.
Yeah,
but
he's a good backup to Bundidi.
If
He's a very
not,
good player.
if
quick,
he's not
strong.
getting the game time
good
by
tackle,
January,
but-
maybe look to loan him out for 6 months. Get
Yeah.
him somewhere.
Well,
get
we
some
did
game
that.
Time.
We did that a couple of years ago, didn't we? When he went to Burton, and he did really well.
Matty James next.
He's coming back, isn't he? Slowly but surely.
I
he
like
just picks
him.
up another injury though, doesn't
Yeah.
he?
Yeah, he
Ah.
is injury prone. How old is he now, Matty James, as well?
28,
Is he
29.
20?
He's getting on a bit, but
Do you
I've,
keep him as a squad player?
I've got sell because the injuries against him. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love him to bits.
Mm.
And the season we came up, he was keeping Drinkwater out of the squad that first season.
The
he
only
played.
reason Drinkwater played in the season we won the league is because Matty James got an injury.
Exactly. So Matty James, as much as I love it, now's the right time to sell.
Yeah, now he's not injured.
I'd love to see him come back. Yeah, the camera's set to record for 45 minutes. We've ran over. We're back. I don't know how much Matty James talk you've seen, so we're going to do it again. So keep or sell Matty James or loan even. All three options are available.
Keep him.
I'm not sure.
He's club legend.
I'm not sure. But then King was a club legend, but he wasn't good enough for the Premier League.
No, but I think Matty James is on his day. He just needs to stop getting injured.
Yeah, a fit Matty James is really good.
Yeah.
If he can get
But
back
does
to
he stay
fitness,
fit?
keep him.
Does he stay fit though?
I think you give him this season. I'm not sure if his contract runs out or what. I think you give
Mm.
him the season, see if he can actually get back in. Because I know
Mm.
Roger speaks highly of him anyway.
Mm.
And he's already,
seems like a good
he's an
squad
experienced head in
Yeah.
the dressing room when we've got a
He's
load of
been
young
there for a
players
long
on there.
time. Yeah.
Next player, Adrian Silva.
Get rid.
Get rid.
Yeah, just sell him on.
He's the
bless him.
worst player we've bought in the last few years.
I think
I think he
were-
got really hard done by. If it wasn't, if we didn't submit the paperwork late, I think he could have been a good player.
I think that
It was just- he
that's
came back-
humbled him.
Having not played a competitive match for 6 months.
Yeah.
He didn't know if he could train or where he stood or what. So
Yeah.
there was a few months where he weren't even allowed to train with the squad. But then
Yeah.
even then, you've had 2 months of just training. He should have been able to jump into.
Yeah,
it.
you
Nothing-
pick that back up.
Nothing can
You think
sort
out-
of
yeah,
prepare for a match day there.
But everyone's been in the same position for the past few months.
Yeah.
As a squad, no one trained together for 3 months,
Yeah, look how bad.
and
they were.
everyone's come back in and been fine. So
Well, it took a couple of games to get going.
yeah, but Adrian Silva just never hit that. Never. He never.
Anyway,
he's
yeah.
not quick enough. Not good enough on the ball.
No.
No.
So anyway, we're agreed to get rid of him.
Yeah. So, so easy in this first one, undid he?
Keep.
Yeah, keep.
You got to.
Vital for the squad.
Dennis Pratt.
Keep.
Yep.
Very good player on his day. He's a solid 7 out of 10 every game he plays.
Mm.
Then Rashid Gazelle.
Get rid.
Get rid.
Sell him straight away.
The poor man.
No idea why we brought him.
He's right-footed Algerian,
He's
left-footed,
left-footed.
right winger from Algeria.
Get
We
rid.
thought all of them were the same.
Yeah.
Get rid.
Right, forwards then. Only 6 names left. Starting with Vardy, that's
Keep.
obvious. You just keep him.
Keep.
Get his stature up one day.
Yeah.
Ian Acho,
Keep him.
Depends.
Scores goals.
I'd say keep.
It depends. If someone's stupid enough to bid 30, 40 million for him, you get rid.
But he's only.
And then use that money to bring in maybe somewhat like a higher calibre of striker from broad.
Yeah.
Won't go into names, but
Yeah, I think there's a few names touted around Leicester
Yeah.
at the minute.
Yeah.
but
I
if
think-
you can get him, maybe.
If
but-
we replace him, then yeah, get rid. But
you'd have to.
I feel like you're going to need 3 or 4 strikers next year because if Vardy gets injured again,
You don't just want Iheanacho, do you?
no,
yeah.
Gray's not a striker either.
no.
Brings
No,
you
it's
on to
Perez.
another interesting one, then Slimani.
If you're going to play old Brighton,
I quite like him.
I think he's
I
got
quite like
potential in
him.
the Europa League, and at Monaco he proved he had a fantastic season.
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
And I've always rated him, but he
Him
just
and
doesn't
Ben,
fit
yeah.
our style of play.
No.
But in the Europa League, he's always going to be a decent option.
Do you remember that goal he scored scored in the cup, where he cut in on his left foot and smashed it top
Yeah.
goal?
Yeah, against Liverpool.
Just shows
Yeah.
he's good
Yeah.
with his feet and his head.
I really like him. I think we keep him for a season, see how he gets on, and then go
Yeah.
from there.
Yeah.
Get him back into the fold and just play him in
Yeah.
cup games.
Give
think.
him every minute in the cup, get him starts in the Europa League, and get Vardy in the Prem.
Yeah.
And I think we're on a winner.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's quite an easy one, Perez. Just keep him
Yeah.
around.
Keep
Keep
hold,
him
yeah,
on. See
keep
if-
hold of him. He's a good squad player. He's a good player. He's just if it's 30 million fee, it's just too much.
Yeah,
he's a good player.
I think he's gonna have more chance to play in the position he wants to next year.
Yeah, definitely.
So
Madders can't play.
we'll
for the whole
see.
season.
We'll see how good he comes.
Yeah. Diabate.
Get rid.
Loan.
I'd loan him out to like a championship club
Loan
or
him
something
out,
because he
yeah.
showed really, really good spells when he first signed.
The only reason we
Against
signed him was 'cause
Peterborough,
he's-
wasn't it?
Yeah.
That he
Yeah.
played like one good game.
He played against Arsenal though.
Mm.
The game in the league against Arsenal, he did stand out really well, and he proves he can have those moments if we get him loaned in the championship or something.
Yeah. See how he fares,
I'd
and
say get
then
rid of him.
if he doesn't play well in the championship, then that's when you look to just get rid of him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get rid of him anyway. But
And then the last player, George Hurst, that striker we brought on at the end of the season.
probably loan.
Loan him out. Yeah.
Get him again, Championship League
It's not
One.
strong
Get
enough
him,
yet.
get him scoring.
It really annoyed me. Even we brought him on against Man U, didn't we?
Yeah.
He just shot from 40 yards.
Yeah. It was
That's
like
the
on
point.
FIFA where you accidentally click
Yeah,
shoot.
it was. It was. We were 1-0 down at the
You
time.
press B
Like,
to
why do you
Yeah.
shoot from there? Why?
Yeah.
But yeah, loan him
I think
out.
he could be a good player. He's been scoring loads of goals for
He's
the
quite
development
physical,
squad,
isn't
isn't
he?
Yeah. His dad was a good player, I think, wasn't he, for Sheffield Wednesday?
But then he's, again, I reckon he's a bit like Slimani. Probably not the right player for our squad at the minute, but a decent option. Loan him out, get him some minutes elsewhere, get him some goals at a proper level, not under 23s. No disrespect to under 23s by all means, but
Well, the under 23s, what? So is it the semis of the cup? Or was it
Yeah,
the
they did
quarters?
very well this year.
so just get him scoring. This brings us on quite nicely though. We've gone through the squad. We know, kind of looking at it, it's not really good enough at the minute, I'd argue.
We've just got
For
no
where
depth.
we want to be, yeah.
Yeah.
We've got a good starting 11, but we've not really got any backup.
No.
So we're going on to transfers, and I'll just talk you through who we're linked with currently and what other options are out there, and I'll get on to you guys for
Okay.
who you reckon. So who we're linked with at the minute, seen a lot of buzzing around for Dwight McNeil, 20 years old, left mid, played every game for Burnley last season, 2 goals, 6 assists, 1.4 key passes per 90, 1.8 crosses, 1.5 long balls. I don't know about you guys, but it just screams Mark Albrighton that we've got to pay for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think
he's
he's
young enough
still
with
young,
potential.
yeah. I think he sort of burst onto the scene at the back end of, not last season, season
Yeah.
before, didn't he?
You can't-
Looked really good, but he's still 20 and he's playing in a Burnley side that's
I
Yeah.
think you can
average at
teach
best.
him how to play, not just find a target man with a cross.
Yeah, because that's all they have
Well,
at Burnley. They've got
that's
three,
all they've got though,
They've
isn't
got
it?
3 target men. Yeah, if we can kind of teach him to get the ball down and
Did you say how many key passes it was a game?
Key passes 1.4 per 90. So,
So
again,
it's
it's
still
creating
pretty good.
chances.
yeah,
Whether they're crosses or not, I've not got the stats to go into
Right.
that or not.
probably though.
You could play him on
With
one
their
and
aerial
on the other,
threats.
Yeah.
But sounds decent, but is he just
It'd be a
another
good sign, I
Albrighton?
think.
You'd have to see.
He's a younger Albrighton, so
Yeah. I think he'd be a good signing. I
Yeah.
think he'd develop into a really good player.
So next is that Trincao. I can't remember if he's on loan from Barcelona at Braga. 20 years old, 1,600 minutes in Liga NOS, 8 goals, 6 assists, average rating on Who Scored of 7.28, 1.7 shots a game, 1.3 key passes, 2.3 dribbles, and fouled 1.4 times per 90. 20 years old, I think. If you can get him on
If
loan
you can
with
get
an option
him,
to
yeah.
buy,
Yeah, absolutely.
I-
Whether he'd come now with the new manager coming in is another question,
He'd
because he
look
might
to
want to
impress.
see whether he can get some game time under Koeman.
Yeah. But if not, then it might be an option to bring in January if we are still
Yeah.
going strong in
in
all
Europe.
three cup competitions, and we still need reinforcements, whether we have any injuries or anything like that.
Yeah.
It would be good to bring in.
you have a look
I just
at
don't
players
think it
we
would come
loan.
now.
We normally do all right, apart from Bennett. But
Yeah.
like Tillerman's, when we got him in on January, 6 months, we made him love
Yeah.
it here, and he signed permanently. Whether we do something like that.
Dragovic was a good signing when we got him on loan as well. We just
Yeah.
didn't get the minutes.
Striking option, who we see linked with about every Premier League club, is Oddison Edouard. I've got 45 games across all comps last season, 27 goals, 19 assists.
Yeah.
I think you take him at any Prem club, really.
I think you would, yeah. You
You'd take
do
him.
just worry about the
It is the Scottish League.
Scottish leagues, don't you?
But then he also did quite well in Europe, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. I think I've not got it written down, but he got something like. Oh no, I'm thinking someone else. Don't worry, ignore me.
I'm sure he did quite well in Europe.
Jovic.
Yeah.
I'm sure he did quite well in Europe, so I think I'd take a gamble on him. It just depends on the fee. And just piss Celtic fans off more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd be fun. David Brooks, I've got 500 minutes in all competitions due to injuries this
Injured, didn't
season. 1 goal, average rating 6.3. And then in 18-19, 2,200 minutes, 7 goals, 5 assists, 1.4 shots per game for Bournemouth. He did look decent during that spell.
Just got
Okay.
unlucky with injuries this year, didn't he?
Yeah, again,
Um,
can he recover from them injuries?
Do you take a gamble on how young is he as well?
I've not got that wrote down. I think he's only about 22, 23.
Yeah,
I'm not certain.
It's tricky because I'd take him if we don't sign like McNeil or the other one. But do we need 2? He's 23.
Exactly. It
But
depends.
as of today, he's heavily linked with Manchester United.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that as well. So
He's
again,
going to choose that over Leicester, basically.
Well,
unless he wants.
unless he wants game time.
Yeah.
Does he want a big payout? Does he want pay time? Does he want game time?
Next player, I'm not sure if you guys have heard of him. Yassine Adli, 20-year-old Cam, played in the French league or Liga 2. I can't remember when I was looking it up. It's just a name I've seen floating around.
Not
1,000 minutes, 3 goals, 3 assists, average rating of 6.73. Looks decent, but the options we've got.
It's at Bordeaux.
He
Isn't
currently
it?
plays for Bordeaux, yeah.
No, I can't say that of him.
Yeah, I can't add much on.
You'd
him, to be
hope,
fair.
you'd hope the scouts are like thorough with who they're looking at and who they bring in. So, although they did bring in Gazal.
Yeah.
Todd Cantwell, another name we're linked with, 22-year-old, 2,500 minutes, 6 goals, 2 assists, 0.9 key passes, 1.3 dribbles, fouled 1.8 times, but then Maddison in, I think it was less minutes in the end because of his injury, 2.5 key passes a game, 1.6 dribbles, fouled 2.8 times. He outshines him massively.
Yeah.
Cantwell in a better team maybe, but
Yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
personally
I don't rate
him
him
that
to be
much.
honest. I think he had a decent game against us at our place, but
Yeah.
I think we're already sorted in that position anyway.
I think
because
we
if you're
are,
thinking
yeah.
about Perez
But then you can play him out wide as
central,
well. You can play Cantwell out wide as well. I
Yeah.
think he did play out wide on the left against us, and he looked okay. But I wouldn't be overly bothered if we didn't sign him.
No.
I wouldn't. Luka Jovic is the other one. I
I'll
don't
take
know if
him.
we're linked with a loan transfer. It changes every day.
Seems to
it
have gone
seems.
dead.
I think it was just a loan, but yeah, I'd quite happily take him.
I'll take him.
Yeah, 22 years old, 700 minutes in all competitions last season, 3 goals and assists. He didn't get on well at Madrid, but
He's experienced in Europe.
yeah, 18-19, I'll just go into his Europa League, 950 minutes, 10 goals, 1 assist.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
you're
knows
gonna take him.
Europa League,
Yeah.
he'd be a great squad option.
You
for
take
that
him any day of the
competition.
week, don't you?
He's strong and he's got a powerful shot as well. Very, very good.
Yep, Chilwell goes. You've got Jamal Lewis, we're linked with, 22-year-old, 2,300 minutes, 1 goal.
Against us.
Yeah, of course it was. 1.8 tackles, 0.9 interceptions, and 2 clearances per 90. But the interesting thing is Chilwell got 1.6 tackles, 1 interception, and 2 clearances. So they're very, very similar defensively.
Yeah.
I
but
look
you'd-
more defensively than attacking wise
you'd-
because it's Norwich we're looking at here.
Yeah, if you look at the possession stats and where the ball is when Norwich are playing versus when Leicester are playing, I think
Yeah. Do you take a gamble on
you
him?
should have more on that
Yeah.
as a Norwich player.
Yeah. I've put potentially a decent option to go for, but it depends what other names are linked around, especially with 70 million from Chilwell.
Yeah.
Well, we're rumoured with
sign.
a couple of decent other left backs as well, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. My personal favourite is the next player, Buendia from Norwich.
Taken.
And I've said it for months and months and months. As soon as you knew Norwich were going down, you've got to go for Buendia. 23 years old, 2,400 Premier League minutes, a goal and 7 assists, 2.3 key passes per 90, and a third most chances created in the Prem.
I think he's going to go on under the radar of a lot of teams this season.
I heard
this transfer
Atletico
window.
Madrid were interested, weren't they?
They're
And
the
he's
only
from.
big team that seem to notice. Other than that, it's Leeds and Villa.
I'd definitely take him at
We'll
Leicester.
go
And he
in.
has been rumoured, I think, hasn't he, as well, Buendia? So
I've seen the other day a double deal for Lewis and Buendia.
I saw that one.
That's not too bad. And
Depends what the price is.
he can play right wing.
You'd take both of them for 30 mil though, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
Easy.
15, yeah.
You'd snatch at that.
Yeah, you would.
Easily. I mean, Buendia's probably worth 30 on his own, to be honest.
Yeah.
He does look incredible.
He looks a very good player. And
Considering he's
he's
played for a team that finished 20th, he had an average rate of 7 for the season.
And to
So
be the third highest chance created player for a team like Norwich.
imagine
Yeah.
feeding into Vardy.
If you create that to Vardy.
You could do a swap deal, Matty James, someone like that.
Rashid Gazelle for Buendia.
Yeah. We'll take that.
We'll take that one.
The last player I've seen who we're linked with is William Carvalho.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
28-year-old DM, 900 La Liga minutes, average rate of 6.41. I've put down, I'm not sure if he's injured or just shit.
Yeah, I wouldn't take him.
I wouldn't go near him.
The amount of options we've got there, we've
Well, you've got Hamza and Ndidi, haven't you?
yeah, and Amarty if he wants to come back and play
exactly.
there.
It's just an older head there, isn't it? A more experienced.
Is he
head.
going to be
He's
another
won-
Vincente Bora though?
Oh, I loved Ibora.
I mean, he was
Good on the ball, but he was so slow. And I think
Yeah.
Carvalho is exactly the same.
I think Ibora was criminally underused.
Mm.
I really liked him.
So that's who we're linked with. Then, kind of as we're doing, we're looking around relegated clubs who you can bring back to Prem. So I'll just run through a few names. So from Bournemouth, would you take either King or Wilson as a backup potentially?
I'd take Wilson.
I'll take Wilson. Proven goal scorer.
Yeah, I'm not overly keen on King. He's a bit hit and miss.
Yeah, he has
Yeah.
good and bad games.
Yeah.
Brooks, as we've mentioned before, I don't know if you go in, take a gamble on him, but do you put your eggs in like the basket of Buendia or McNeil instead? I think I'd personally rather do that.
I'd
Yeah.
rather do that. Go for Buendia or McNeil or
I
both.
think Norwich were better on the whole this season than Bournemouth. They
Played. Bournemouth were really unlucky with injuries, I think, as well.
Yeah.
Mm.
Ryan Fraser on a free.
Nah.
I wouldn't go near him either.
Showing bad attitude,
he's
isn't
a
he?
free,
On a free.
but
He's showing bad
you've got
attitude.
Harvey Barnes in that position. There's other players who I'm sure we've all got wrote down on here who can play left wing
Yeah.
Mm,
if you really want to, but I wouldn't take the minutes from Barnes to give to Fraser.
Mm-hmm.
no.
Another one, not seen him linked with anyone, Lewis Cook. He's still only... He's just over
And then we've still
20,
got
I
loads of
think.
players in that position anyway.
But then going into Europe, the depth that you're going to want, if
Well, you've
Matty
still
James
got-
went...
Well,
then-
yeah, you've still got Hamza, Ndidi, Tillemans, Pratt, Madders, James. Maybe.
And we do
maybe
need
pick
another
up one
central
more.
midfielder.
Maybe pick up
Yeah,
one more.
because that's what I'm thinking with Lewis.
I know he's
Cook,
still
and I
young,
believe-
but he's not set the world alight since he has joined Bournemouth.
And then left back wise, they've got Sergio Rico, who led the Premier League in tackles, decent crosser of the ball, and has looked quite good for at least 2 seasons at Bournemouth. Maybe worth a risk. I wouldn't personally go in for him again, but
No.
I wouldn't go for
He's-
Rico,
he's
not
not-
with some of the other names we really left back.
you look at going on to Watford. Then there's a lot of players you'd think you'd pick out. Decore potentially
Oh, yeah,
is
you'd
one
pick
if you
him.
Yeah,
can,
isn't
if
he?
you
Although,
can get a deal.
what's he done this season?
He still scored a fair few. I've not got the
Mm.
stat in front of me, but
Has
I
he?
know he's always influential in what they're doing. But then, would he come in wanting to start because there isn't necessarily that place available?
True.
You've got Roberto Pereira.
He scored 4 goals this season and got 2 assists.
Yeah, I'm not
for
sure about
Watford.
Pereira's attitude either.
Yeah.
It seems a bit
No.
funny.
Yeah.
De La Feu
I would
the
take
right-
him.
for the right price.
Yeah, for the right price.
proven he
Him
can
and
do it.
Ismail Sarr.
Yeah, Sar's the next player on
Yeah,
the list.
For the right price, you'd take both.
Both fair winners.
I'm sure I've read Watford want like 40 million for Sarr, and
They
I
want to
wouldn't
get
pay
back the money they paid for
that.
him.
I wouldn't pay
basically.
that.
Yeah.
And then striker wise, I've got written down they've got a young lad called Luis Suarez and a young lad called Peñaranda. They both look really good, both around the 20 mark.
tricky.
Would you take a risk on them? They've been proving themselves in Spain and Germany.
It's tricky because they're still.
I think with
Yeah,
strikers,
right,
we need experienced heads this year, like Lukijovic to bring in.
Well,
Who
Ian Asher's
knows
still young,
who knows
isn't
the
he?
competition?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And then on to Norwich. We mentioned 3 already, so I'll just go on to one name, but we haven't. Ben Godfrey. I mean, he's looked good, but he's in the worst defence in the league, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't
No.
personally. I think another team probably should come in for him, but
Maybe like
for
a
us-
Villa or someone like
Yeah,
that.
someone that is going to struggle next year, and they're
Yeah.
looking to bolster up that defence.
And then finally, like from me going on, I was looking around the big clubs earlier today, and just a few names I saw: Christensen from Chelsea,
Bit lightweight.
or you've got, I don't know how many minutes he'd get next season, Ross Barkley from Chelsea. Again, I'm not interested in that. I was looking
He
at players.
struggled with injuries, didn't he, as well? I think if he's fit, he plays for Chelsea.
He'd be wanting to go to a bigger club as well. Well, Mason Mount looks like he's going to be ahead of him next year, so maybe a switch to another big club. But no, he wouldn't come to Leicester.
I don't see anyone coming
Maybe
into
go back to
him
Everton.
anyway. I went to Man U. This is probably the Hoffenheim career mode in me speaking, but Eric Bailly. He's only
Bit injury
26
prone.
still.
Yeah, it's the same, isn't he?
Keeps picking up injuries.
Makes mistakes as well.
Yeah.
You've got Diego Dallo as maybe a right back loan you could have a look at.
Do we need another right back?
Depends how long Ricky P's out, even if it's short term.
I know
Justin,
Ricky
you wanted
P is
to
going to be
come in.
back for the start of the season.
Yeah, he might miss 1 or 2, but he's supposed to be back pretty quickly, I think.
That's a lot better than I thought then. John Stones from Man City seems to be on his way out. Again, I'm not interested in this rumour I've seen.
No,
A lot of
Really.
clubs are.
He's a bit lightweight.
Let him go West Ham.
I don't think he was that good at Everton, and I was surprised that he actually went to
English.
Man City.
It's just English, isn't
Yeah.
it?
And then
If you have one half good season, Man City would look at you.
another kind of forgotten man, Shaqiri at Liverpool. If you can take him on loan for a season,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, I'd take him, actually, yeah.
I wouldn't go out and buy him because you don't know how he is fitness wise and whatnot. But
I'll
if
take
you
him
could
on loan. Experienced head.
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%.
So going on like further, then, who would you guys want to sign? Is there any names that we've missed off? Is there anything? Who would your ideal signings be?
If we get,
Tagliafico keeps going round doing the
I've
rounds,
seen
doesn't
that
he?
one.
And
If we
he's very
sell
good.
Chilwell, I'd take him.
He's like Ricardo Pereira, but on the left.
Yeah.
Like, he played 24 matches last year, scored 3 goals, got 4 assists. It's very
pretty
similar
good.
to what Ricardo would have if he played the whole season. Yeah, he's quick, he's more attack minded, and if we are thinking about, because towards the end of the season we were playing 3 at the back,
Yeah.
if we were thinking about playing 3 at the back next season at any point,
Sorry, we had to break for dinner.
yeah, it was good.
Where were we? Tagliafico.
Yes, if Chilwell goes, I'll definitely take Tagliafico.
Yeah, it'd be a very, very good
You went through the
addition to
stats, didn't you?
Yeah.
24 games, 3 goals, 4 assists.
Yeah.
Experience in Europe, got to the semi-finals last year.
He did, however, get 6 yellow cards last season, though, in 24 games. So
Meh.
Yeah, that could be worked out. Even then, that's not bad. You don't know if they're professional fouls or not.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
true.
if he does want to play 5 at the back as well, he'd be a perfect wing back alongside Ricky P on the other wing.
Yeah.
I'd also take Tellez from Porto, but you'd be doing well to convince him to come.
Yeah.
But like you said just before turning this back on,
Yeah.
we've got Ricky P.
Yeah,
Not impossible, but the amount of clubs who could want a left back and go in for Tejas is like one of the up there ones.
Yeah,
You don't know if we can compete or not.
no, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah.
I think that's it, wasn't it? From players we want to sign?
yeah.
Ollie
Who
Watkins.
would I sign?
Ollie Watkins, yeah,
Ollie
that's a good
Watkins,
shout.
of course.
49 matches, 26 goals, 3 assists.
Is he top
Yeah.
scorer in the Championship?
I think he was.
Joint with Mitro.
He did very, very well last season, and he looks like he could be a good fit in the Leicester side. He's young, he's quick, he obviously scores goals.
I got down here for Watkins 2.7 shots per game, 1.5 key passes, and Brentford are a reliable club to buy from. In the past, so you look at Mapai last season's done really well.
Yeah.
Mepham, apart from injuries, he looked quite good at Bournemouth.
Yeah.
And you've got Concert at Villa, Andre Gray. Going back even further, John Egan and Tarkovsky came out of Brentford.
Yeah,
Mm.
Jesus.
So Brentford are a good ground to go.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Ben Rama would be a good player as well.
The other player I thought we'd all have down at some point.
Yeah.
Ben Rama, 17 goals, 9 assists. Just looked incredible last season.
He's very, very
It
good
did
on the
look
ball.
good, yeah. He's a bit like Mahrez.
On the other side, isn't it?
Just plays on the left, right-footed, cuts in.
Yeah.
Silly haircut.
So out of everyone we've kind of gone through then, we'll go through our squads and what you'd like for next season. So how would you guys line up next season? Given it, if you could have transfers, because this is where it's difficult. We don't know the money we've got to play with, so we're trying to be a bit more...
Well, I had an outside shot for someone to bring in, actually.
Yeah.
And it's Kingsley Coman on loan.
You'd be doing well, and you'd be doing well to keep him fit.
You'd do well to get him in.
But Man U are also sniffing around alone for him, so...
But
good luck with that.
Look how many wingers Bayern have got now. Yeah. I know Coutinho's gone back, but they've just bought Sane. So I think Kingsley Coman, for how young he is, he's so far down the pecking order.
And I mean, he's won a league title every season he's played.
So, yeah, we'll win the Europa League next year, obviously. It's just whether he wants to downgrade or whether he wants the free trophies. But I think if he wants to be pushing to be in the French side,
he needs to be playing.
Then he needs to be playing consistently. So I don't know. I thought it was just an outside shot.
I mean, you'd take it if you get the option.
Yeah,
definitely.
100%.
Yeah, I created a sort of how I think we'll line up rather than what a dream lineup would be.
Because I've kind of done the opposite. I've done realistic signings.
Mm-hmm.
So out of everyone we've gone through, realistically, this is how I'd hope to see us line next season.
Yeah, I say this is fairly realistic, bar one, who we did mention, but we are rumoured with him. So we'll set up on Schmeichel in goal. It's the same formation he played most of the season, so the 4-1-4-1 thing.
Yeah.
And then you back four of Ricky P, Evans, Cags, and I put Tagliafico in there.
Yeah, I mean...
He's rumoured, if you can get him at the right price.
Yeah. Anything less than 70 mil, I think, would be a good price.
Yeah.
And then Ndidi, Holding with Tillemans and Madders in front. And then I've got Barnes on one side, McNeil on the other with Vardy up front. But I do have Edouard on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And I've also got Benkovic on the bench as well.
Nice. I didn't do a bench on. I just did starting 11 with a couple of slashes in there. Did you get a... How would you line up?
I didn't, but I'd like to hear yours.
So I went, obviously, Schmeichel in goal, Ricky P, Cags, Evans. I didn't see too much on Tagliafico, so I would shoehorn him in, but I put Jamal Lewis on, just because similarly...
We are rumoured with him.
With Chilwell and the rumours.
Yep.
Ndidi Tillemans sitting together, Maddison in front of them. I think we need to get a right mid, and whether he plays there or not, Buendia. I think Buendia's the one I've said all summer long I'd absolutely love to see him sign. He's gone so low under the radar that it'd be a steal. If not Ollie Watkins.
He can play out wide, can't he?
Left mid, I did have Ben Rama down, but then I remembered we've got Harvey Barnes and he's incredible. So Harvey Barnes starting, but you'd need an option like probably Ben Rama, maybe McNeil, one of those two. But I'd rather have Barnes start and an option. Vardy up front. Yeah, you'd probably want to sign Edouard, but if Slimani comes back and starts off well, it all depends what happens. So that would be my lineup. Yeah.
Just going off the top of your head, Sam, who would you go with?
Anyone we've not gone for that you'd go for?
Yeah.
No, I think you've pretty much both covered it. I would in fact I'd bring in Slimani because we've either played 4-1-4-1 or like 3-5-2 or 3-4-3. So we are only playing with one recognised striker each time. And your two in the middle have to be Ndidi and Tielemans.
Yeah.
Maybe Pratt if Tielemans continues in his form.
If you get Tielemans like happy, he's purring, isn't he?
But yeah,
he's cracking.
Kingsley Coman on the wing.
I think
Harvey Barnes on the other.
I've got down who we've not mentioned is Luka Jovic on loan.
Is that you?
I should bring it back in a bit, don't worry.
Alright.
So
that's right.
We'll go again this time when we stop ringing. Sorry, Grandpa. I'll call you back. Yeah, other than the players we've mentioned, the only other player I've got is Luka Jovic.
Yeah.
If we can get him on loan, then
be a very good signing.
Then you think about switching up the formation, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Because
he played well.
Maybe go for a diamond in the middle.
Yeah, he played well at the front,
to
didn't he?
Yeah.
Tielemans and Ndidi, and then you play. Well, it means dropping Barnes, but
It did that at the back end of last season, though, didn't it?
Yeah.
You just change it up later.
Yeah.
If it's not working, then you
Mhm.
change it up. If it is, you just replace the players that can play in the same formation.
So you've gone with how we'd line up. So finally, what would your guys' expectations be for next season?
You'd hope to be pushing for the top 6 again. But I know last time we started off disastrously and we were looking like we could get relegated.
Yes.
When Shakespeare came in, he sort of turned it around a bit and focused more on the league than the Champions League, I think. But so you'd hope you'd be pushing for the top 6, but I think realistically, well, I said what I put for a successful season would be managing to qualify for Europe, and also going quite well in Europe this season. So maybe like hopefully a semis in the final, and I think sort of an okay season would be a mid-table finish, but going well in one of the cups.
Yeah.
Whether that be the FA, are we in the Carabao Cup this year?
Yeah, I assume so.
Yeah. Whether maybe getting to the final of that or the FA Cup and going fairly well in Europe and finishing mid-table, and then disastrous would be finishing bottom half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And getting knocked out of the cups and not going very far in Europe.
Yeah.
You got nothing to look forward to after Christmas, then, have you?
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
I think I've only put down simply a good, realistic season, top 10, because with European football, I don't expect us to be up there, but on the same run, a good run in Europe. So I've put hopefully quarterfinals at least, draw dependent, obviously, because you don't know if
you don't know who you're going to get. Do you?
You're hoping you're going to finish top of your group and then not get an unlucky third place team. You can't predict the future, but I think a good run to quarterfinals in Europe will be good, and a cup final. I think if we can get a cup final to look forward to, I think that'll be excellent.
Yeah.
I think I put we need to buy well.
Yeah.
We need to keep our players, which is the main thing. We've got such a young, talented squad. We've got the foundations there. We just need the big players to kind of build that team. I think the top 6 have all shown signs that they're going to buy big this summer. Apart from Arsenal, which I don't think they're going to break in. You don't know about Tottenham. I think they might do some deals.
Yeah,
Tottenham are still paying off their stadium, though, aren't they?
Yeah, that's true.
They're bigging up Højbjerg, and I've not seen them linked with anyone particularly. So you never know what's happening.
Yeah. So I just thought that this season it might be a little bit harder to break into that top 6, top 5 again. Especially with playing Thursdays, and if we do go well in another cup competition, then it is going to make it a lot harder if we don't bulk out the squad. I think last 8 of the Europa League, depending on who we draw. If we draw someone awful in the last 8, then you'd expect to get to the semis. But yeah, I think finish top 8, top 7 of the Prem, get Europa League again, and just kind of bolster our position there. Because I think Wolves next year are going to try and do exactly the same as us. Yeah. But I think they'll struggle next year.
I think with Wolves, their squad's really thin. I think that shows, but they've drew a hell of a lot of games and lost not too many. So a couple of draws into wins, especially the 2 against us, which quite could have easily been. Wins. They probably will finish above us next season, I'd say.
Yeah.
But again,
it depends though, doesn't it?
You can't predict the future.
Yeah, it depends. Because Jimenez is doing with Man U, but who isn't? Yeah. If he goes, who they got up front?
And Jota.
It's not a striker.
They're getting some Brazilian bloke in from Braga or something.
Unproven though, isn't it?
Yeah.
So was Jimenez.
But then so was Jimenez, yeah. And so is
Edouard. Wolves always seems to do the good deals.
Wait until wait until
2 seasons.
Yeah, it's only because they've got that agent working for them.
Yeah, wait until the manager leaves. They'll go downhill.
Yeah.
Until that time, they might as well enjoy it and savour it.
Yeah.
And it's good to see someone else challenging. Anyway.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting question actually. Who do you reckon, who didn't perform as well this year, would maybe have an outside shot of breaking into that top 6 next year? If you think about teams like, I don't know, Everton, Sheffield United.
Sheffield United will slow it down.
I've got a really rogue one.
Go on then.
Southampton. Since we beat them, they've been better than us. And they have been really, really good.
And if they keep Danny Ings on form,
keep him fit as well.
I think that if they buy well, they can be up there top 8 easily. They're one of those teams that you don't know what to expect, but they could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they have done before.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They're well managed.
I know-
Ancelotti at Everton could be a big thing as well.
Yeah.
He's a
It's
very
going to
good
attract
manager.
big players, isn't it?
Exactly. And he did get them playing slightly better.
So it's not just like this top 6 in the Prem anymore. We've proven it. Spurs finishing below, Arsenal down there. It's more becoming a top 9 and 10 now.
Yeah.
Everton as Wolves included up
Mm.
there. Then you've always got your Southamptons, your West Hams.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about West Ham.
No, not a chance.
No.
They're
I
awful.
wouldn't worry about them.
But yeah, there's a lot. It makes it interesting for
Yeah.
a neutral just watching these games.
Mm.
I know it makes the season so much more difficult. You see Sheffield United come up and do it, and
I think they'll slow down next season.
Mm.
Teams have sussed them out, I think.
Yeah, you saw it towards the end of last season, didn't you?
Yeah.
We beat them 2-0 comfortably.
Yeah.
And we were in probably our worst form of the season.
I think they've been sussed out and I think they'll struggle.
Yeah.
if you guys want to see us do like a predictions video for the Prem,
God.
let us know.
Yeah, because I think it'd be interesting to do like conversations that we've had now to when the transfer window closes in 4 weeks' time. To see who's bought who. I think it is,
I
yeah.
think it's October 1st. Is it start to middle of
Yeah,
October?
because it's usually
I can't
August
remember.
31st, isn't it? But
Yeah.
yeah.
It's later. Well, season starts in about 3 weeks, isn't it?
Yeah. So maybe a before the season preview, and then when the transfer window closes, we can kind of assess who's done well first few games and go from
Go
there.
from there.
Yeah. So hopefully you have enjoyed it. It's something completely different from us. We're wanting to do this. I hope this was going to be done a few weeks ago, and a few things happened. So it's a bit late, but better late than never. Like I say, if you've enjoyed it, we'll probably think about doing a transfer review. We'll do a predictions video for the Premier League. We can kind of make it a little tournament. We can have a little prize for whoever gets the most right.
Yeah.
We can have some fun with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you have enjoyed and want us to stick around, see some other stuff, check out other videos. There'll be links at the end. Subscribe. It means a lot to us. We're trying to do big things in the next FIFA, especially creating
next
challenges
FIFA.
and everything. We've got plans lined up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
hopefully more to come.
Yeah.
And if you disagree with anyone or have seen any other rumours, any way we can improve, comment. Let us know.
Yeah, comment with any rumours or players that you'd like to see at the club.
Yeah. I think
Yeah, we
realistically we've all thought similar.
Yeah.
We tried to be realistic. Of course we all want to win the league and everything, but
Yeah.
just
It's-
competing top 10, challenging those top teams is good enough, I think, for now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Definitely for Leicester, yeah. Definitely with the new training ground coming.
Yeah.
Should be a force to be reckoned with in a few years.
So we hope.
So we don't. But yeah, thank you guys very much for watching.
Yeah.
Bye!
See you later.